Okay then, documenting or just updating you for what's going on with this room and what have I changed basically. It's a lot to really to think about categorizing it all because anyone who's seen previous videos could see the look and feel of the room is very different to what it is now. So let me try to think this through. Of course, came in and step one would be like get everything out of here to the other room, and what was in the other room in all that in here, which was done in little steps here and there. Well, until the other person for the other room had was ready for everything to be out of here. They have everything done now. They're decorating. I helped them put down carpet the other day. Every time we do something, it's like we've had ups and downs of the weather, a bit of heat waves here and there. So I was doing the wallpapering, and the heat was kept picking up, and it was dropping down a little bit by the time I finished. I started doing the flooring, and the heat was picking up again. So I was like a human sprinkler, really, doing this flooring. The flooring's not entirely finished, not quite, not just yet. So trying to think this through. Came in, took shelving off the wall, took a mirror off the wall. So that's a category of coming in, taking things off the wall. There was shelving behind me, there was shelving in front of me, there was a mirror just to my right. All of that came off. Started wallpapering, ordering the wallpaper. Because where the stuff came off, I was able to, because I haven't drilled any holes in any of the walls for anything to go in place of where things been removed at all. I've used what was already there. Thankfully, the shelving, new shelving I got in front of me here, not the old one that was in here, because that style, and it just wouldn't stand. It would look out, just wouldn't go with anything. It would look so wrong. There was more to do with the theme that was in here. So the holes for that lined up perfectly with the brackets I got off eBay. I got the brackets to put on, and I ordered a thick wooden block for the actual shelf to go into those brackets. With things like this, you got to measure and measure again and look at the measurements online, and just to be sure, because those brackets didn't and the shaft didn't come together. They were sold separately by a different supplier, so I put all that in, and there was a mirror on the wall there. The one corner where the clock is, the mirror was screwed in, wall plugs and all that. That's where the clock is now. And the other corner, I put the notice board on. Pretty cool, because you don't need to drill any new holes. That's things for the walls. Took off the switch socket there, and put that new one on, because there was, it just wasn't. Long story short, very short, shorten it right down. Didn't like it, so I replaced it with that. And again, the socket underneath was a double socket. Plugs, but there's now a single plugged in. That's things off the walls. There was a corner shelf over there. I took off. This is doing all this before you even get to wallpapering, really. Oh, is it scary? Big ugly mug there. So the next step was get the wallpapering done. So I went round with wallpapering. and there was another socket I later changed to a USB plug socket, double plugs, as well as USB slots. That's just behind me to my right. As wallpapering, managed to get that done. There was a curtain here, got that changed. I took the curtain rail off, try and let that focus, get the lighting right. If I bring the blinds down, it won't be so blurry. Perhaps the camera can process that better. So yeah, excuse me. These two blinds are pinned, well, not pinned, they're cable tied to strip of wood that was part of an oak blind. So I ripped that off and put that on and put the hooks in where the curtain rail was. Curtain rail was screwed in, so I used the hooks that come with the blind, screwed those into the hooks, and cable tied the blinds to the old blind bit of wood and put that bit of wood over the blind, over where the curtain rail was. So again, no need for any holes being drilled in, and it works great. I was quite proud of these little things I did with something old, something new, something borrowed, and combining it. So that was done. Curtain rail off, and the curtain that was on there, kind of spare, put away because they got a new curtain in the other room. More to do with matching the nice theme they got in there. As long as it doesn't reveal too many personal details, or perhaps I'll do a quick photo of what it looks like in there. Both rooms look entirely different. You would never think it was the same room. You think you're going in somebody else's house. So that's the curtains done. Extra plug sockets put in to this cupboard, so I can run the printer off there because there's shelving in there. We'll talk about that in a bit. There's shelving in that cupboard. I've mentioned it before how that works in there, so I can go in and walk behind the wall a little bit. And if you did that years ago, you'd be walking into a partition, or if the partition wasn't there, you'd walk and fall onto the stairs. This is an upstairs room. So that's the wallpapering done, as well as that done, as the sockets done. I also changed plug socket here by the mirror, that this mirror will go probably on this door, but behind that door, if I open it, it'll be pinned on the inside. And the plug socket just there by there's got a panel MDF there, and plug sockets with USB sockets. I need to have, sometimes you might misplace your charger, plug it in straight away, as long as you don't lose the actual charging cable, right? So sometimes I'm in a rush, I'm trying to get somewhere, I needed the phone charger a bit quick, you just plug it in. A corner sofa will go behind me, and those plug sockets will just be conveniently placed, so I can just lean over where I'm sat. So what have we got? We got things off the wall, and then things back on the wall. There was the shelving there, even that was used. There's no extra holes, even that as well. So you'll recognize these pictures, poster that I used to have in the other room. The only new things already on the wall is the shelving and the clock. I love the clock. It doesn't tick. It's glows at night. The numbers. So if you wake up in the middle of the night, wondering what time it is, you can actually see it. And small battery to power it. I've got room now. Actually, this was under the desk. What's here? In the old room, that was kind of past the desk in the corner with the vase on top of it. It's nice to have the leg room underneath. I had plenty of leg room actually on the way the desk was arranged before, but again, it was still limited. It's a smaller room. It's nice to have that there, easy access straight on. The new desk is immediately just this bit from here. You'll see to everything this is, shelving. Love the shelving because I got 1, 2, 3, 4 tiers of just being able to put things just out of the way. And that is part of the old desk, lined up perfectly with the new, and still got the drawer that pulls out. I might attach that and put that under here, but that means I'll may have to move that elsewhere, or perhaps there might be enough room here. We'll see. That's something further down the line. So that works. Next step was ripping up the carpet, which I did before, I think. Yeah, before I really got going with the desk. Eventually ripped up the carpet. I was meddling with some things with the desk, but that was before I got the new one anyway. Just some ideas. Ripped up the carpet. My brother has a piece of the carpet, the old carpet, for his top landing. He's doing that up. He's also got new carpet for his stairs. So that's progress. Is something old, something borrowed, something old, something new, something borrowed. Help people, help you, help me help you. So it's nice to know that it didn't all go to waste. So I ripped off the floor. Brother's using a bit of that carpet. Sure, it's in better days, a little bit thin, but it's okay for a top landing little piece. He doesn't want anything too fancy, so maybe when he can afford to, perhaps he place it anyway. But it's useful at the moment. So that's a little bit of the flooring. Left is this, as I mentioned before. I have also a vinyl flooring cutter here, and a little saw I've ordered as well, and borrowed my brother's hacksaw. This is for cutting metal. What am I sawing? What metal? Or for a transition strip to go between the rooms. At the moment, it stands out. Looks a bit slightly ugly. Transition strip. I don't know if you can see that over yonder by the door. It's a bit contrasting, but that's solvable with getting some vinyl wrap or paint it, whatever. It's doable to make it match the flooring a little bit. So there is a vinyl wrap for that on order. If that doesn't, it should be fine. If there's any issues with it, I can paint it. That's fine. And with the right kind of paint that adheres to, it's aluminum. So, and said, it's the only word I can think of is like, I pronounce it aluminum, not aluminium. Spelling is exactly the same, different pronunciation. I've never really understood why it's such a convoluted way that the English say it, and aluminum just sounds right. It sounds more natural. Everything else, well, you miss vowels out, it's like, yeah. Anyway, enough of that. So moving on, I will get a vinyl wrap for the doors. Not the inside, because that shuts, you're not going to see it. But there's some nice ones, there's pictures. I may do both of them. Well, there's 3 doors. It's the only room I've really stayed long term in. Used for longer term. Where there's 3 doors in immediate vicinity from one room. I mean, back in the day when I was kind of probably drinking too much, back in the days when I was doing factory work and the work was so boring, we all played hard and worked hard because we had to, because everything about work was just so boring, production line, and you needed some way to stimulate yourself, some entertainment. So I can imagine if I was a bit worse for wear, because of drink back then, I'd probably wake up in the middle of the night, perhaps I need to go to the toilet, and open the wrong door, or get lost in a very simple room. I mean, yeah, we used to hammer it. Not proud of it. Valued the lesson though, and certainly a lesson valued is I was so stuck in a rut and didn't really think I would be shaped out for retail. I don't think anyone truly is. To be honest with you, you have to put on this persona to be so polite with some people who can be so rude and derogative sometimes. But then you get a person that totally makes your day. You get one person that ruins your day, you get another person that makes your day as well. So you got to take the rough with the smooth. So fish tank as well. So again, part of the old desk is one part. Those who know, like Cheshire Vic had similar desks to this. There's slightly different arrangement with the legs for the table, for the desk. Corner desk. So there'll be 2 parts of this, and the 2 parts are joined by like a curved corner. So the other part of the table is in this cupboard hole. There's a bit of a mess in there at the moment. I'm still trying to get things organised here and there, but it's fine. I will get there. What's nagging me at the moment is I'm waiting for that flooring to go. As soon as the flooring goes down, I know I can order a corner sofa then, because there's flooring's done, everything's out the way, and the sofa can go on the floor. I do have this corner convertible. It's supposed to. I kind of sleep on it. I use this chair, drop it down a bit, put my legs over the chair, and curl up on the bed. It's not the best. It's not as. It doesn't sound. It sounds worse than it is. It's not as bad as you think, but it's not the best. And it's a little bit rickety. As soon as the corner sofa comes, that's going to be taken apart. There's a scrap metal man that comes round. He travels from county to county, really. Goes around quite a bit. You know when he's around because you get it's like an old. I don't know what they used to call them, rag and bone man, or something like that, from years and years ago, before even my time. But there was always somebody going around calling out for you got any old junk. But you get on a loudspeaker, you know he's coming around. So any old iron, scrap metal, this and it's on a loudspeaker. You can't always tell exactly what he's saying, but you know that anything metal, he'd take it. So that's metal and rivets and things and springs. So yeah, he'll have that. I can take it apart and I'll be glad to see the back of it. But it's been convenient, useful in the meantime. And the corner sofa will function as a bed, as a sofa, not one of those that turn into a bed. Don't really like those, but there are some that are really, really good. They're professional, but they're out of my price range and they're way too big for this room. So It's for the, the snobby, more upper class, I guess. And I will say snobby because some of them are just so born, they're born into money and they don't realise how the average person struggles to make ends meet, and they're this kind of snobby. What you want to do is this and that, and this. Why don't you do this and why don't you do that? And it's like, have you seen my bank balance? It's my bank balance is a drop in the ocean to what yours is. It's just like piss off. And this county has a lot of that. And it's not just this county. There's in the UK. It's happening too many places. A lot of snobism is draining finances from areas. People who own buildings and they put the rents up too high, and then they're going abroad enjoying travels around the world while the prices, the towns are struggling because small businesses can't really put too much into the business because the rent's too expensive anyway. Hmm. I travel around from my own place to another place. I mean, I don't own this building. There's an agreement with a family member that I do stay here, and I help them, they help me. So, one of the things those who live in the UK will know, council tax, probably I'd say the most unfair tax in the UK. Again, perhaps somebody will have an exception to that rule. But generally, when you're renting or even if you bought a place or whatever, doesn't matter. The council tax is unfair. The way it's done is it's so it needs to be revised entirely, because how they measure it is if you got 1 bedroom, 2 bedrooms, and all this, and how much land you got. It's really stupid. There's a 2 bedroom house. There's a little bit of backyard, and for a while it was very high, and we've managed to pull some strings to get it a bit lower. And you can do that, but the hoops you got to jump through to get it lower. And you think, oh, that's done, and then it's like annually they want, has your circumstances changed? This and that, yada yada. Yeah, red tape choking the UK. What else was there? Can't think of much else other than there's shelving behind the wall right in front of me. Like I said before, I've mentioned this before. So this cupboard hole to my left in front used to be just like an immediate cupboard, but then you can walk behind the wall a little bit now, or you take the shelving out, you can walk onto where you could walk where that shelving is. The stairwell. If you came into the house, which would be just this direction, I went out through the door here. On my left is the stairs that go down, and then there's a front door. So the stairwell above our heads used to go. You come into the house, the porchway. So there's a ceiling on top, and you go so far upstairs, and it goes straight up. But then, where it's going straight up, that's a wasted space. So you put a panel and supported by strong struts in. So now it's going that way, which means that immediate bit where it was partitioned can be knocked through. Then you put shelving on there. So it made extra storage space. That's something that is a clever way to utilize space. People have done things like that to putting drawers and all that underneath stairs that go up as well. All these different things. It's surprising what space is wasted in many buildings that can be utilized. We have an attic though, and there's boards down there that wasn't there before, but they are now. So that's done. Oh, excuse me, dribbling. How did I miss my mouth, right? So the attic wasn't something that I did. It was, it was done by somebody else, and a lighting strip put up in there. So there's some red or burgundy cushions, small ones that can be taken out of the attic for the corner sofa, because that will pick out and match the reddish burgundy pattern in this rug. The skirting is gone round with black marble effect. Stripping, I still got quite a bit to do. Otherwise, it's this white stripping, which I don't like. I find it ugly, and it stands out against the theme. But it looks much neater and nicer with the marble effect there. So I have another one here. I've just used up one strip. I've got another strip here. I'll probably need a little bit more. Order one more of these to get it fully stripped round. Saying that, we'll see and find out if I need any more or not. Yeah, so that's that. Something else I'm missing is shelving and struts put into that cupboard as well. For storage, just rather than just being a hole you walk into, they just, there's arrangements for shelving done. I'm sure there's something I'm missing. Don't really know what it is. Yada yada. Oh, that is kind of an extension. The plug socket there from one behind the seating, which I'll get that blanked off. I've got a blank plate. It's here. Instead of being a plug socket, a blank plate, cover over. Get the wiring crimped off, not exposed. I need to put a slight bit of a hole underneath there with the cable come out and covered by a cable tidy to the extension, and away we go. Because that will be behind the sofa and never going to be using it. I'm going to be using those two sockets there anyway. Also, you'll see just the white plug socket on the floor there. It's tagged on the skirting, which I'll probably take off in a bit. The marble effect. I might get some black sleeving ready for the cable that goes underneath, and just to the left there you'll see I need to touch up the edge. That's sealant glued on, not going anywhere, but it'll be plugs to use for the fish tank, and I'll probably just be running an air stone off there, okay? And the second socket for programmed lighting. Driftwood has actually finally sunk. Got more tannins coming out of the water, coming out of the wood into the water, sorry, and yeah, that was basically really filled up just to test for leakages anyway. I think that's it really, but it's been enjoyable actually. A little bit of hard work. blood, sweat, and tears, if you will. Just not tears, a little bit of frustration here and there, and particularly in the heat waves. You know, it's just like sweat pouring out of me. The Again, the mirror will go on the inside of the door behind me here. Open that up, and it'd be out enough angle enough just to whatever I'm doing. If I need to look my best, if I'm popping out somewhere, going off somewhere, whatever I'm doing, I've got a mirror to check myself out in if I'm looking to my own standards, regardless of what anyone else thinks. Yeah, the picture behind me, I'm gonna get that changed a little bit. Once the sofa's in and everything else is, once everything, more or less everything's done, I want a nice long, much longer picture, and perhaps a sort of a jungle scene with a nice lake in. Thinking about changing a light thing. That's a rose pendant fitting, I think they call it. I might get that changed. I've got some ideas for that. I don't really like this down thing. It just looks old hat, and I don't know. I never liked them. That's it, really. I think for now for the room. Said I'd update you. So there's a lot really in each category that I've done. You know, just one category of the walls. Well, you get the shelving off, wallpapering done, the plug sockets and wallpapering done, and the new shelving back on. Just the walls on its own is a lot to be covered there, and everything else. You know, some of the paneling had to be sawed or snapped and cut a bit shorter than the actual panel here and there. But it's looking good. It looks nice. It's a nice effect. Professional, kind of, not professional. What's the word? It just feels more comfortable, and like there's something going on in which it's not just some basic bog standard bedroom. It's more, well, it's for everything that I do. When I come home from work, I can spend time in here as a functioning room, almost like a flat. Once the sofa's ready, I get probably to get that piece of the old desk. Now more of a table. I've adjusted it slightly. You go buy the plug sockets here, and I'll put a nice cover over a cloth or whatever top, and have a few Mod-Cons on top of that. A kettle on there, maybe a very small microwave on there as well. A few other Mod-Cons to the room will be placed in, and it'd be like a functioning room for different functions, not just somewhere you go in and you use your bed to go to sleep. It's not just a bedroom. So, I mean, was just a bedroom for the other occupant. It's now a multi-functioning room, and we're certainly getting there. And you know, once it's done, I'll show some pictures before and after. Anyway, cheers, take care, and I'll look forward to doing another video soon. Cheers, bye.